and faith in the family. And in one category, our faith can be slightly weaker and stronger in another category. But faith is the foundation of Brahman life. And there's one type of faith, which is the faith in the self, that comes from a deep realization of my purity, my original purity. I am a pure soul. This is faith in the self. And not just the purity of Paramdham or the purity, it's also the purity of Satyug. And when I have accepted my own purity, then it doesn't matter what storms come. I know. And then faith in Baba. Faith in Baba is trust. Faith in Baba is based on recognition. This is the one. It's his part to purify me. It's his part to bring Satyug. Baba has given us so much Srimad. And so we have love for Baba. But how much of that love is held by Srimad or held in the arms of Srimad? Because then that love can transform me. It's not just random bhavna. Like bhavna, we can have bhavna and come into pure feelings. But these pure feelings have a direction. They have a purpose. And they have the ability to transform when they are held in the arms of Baba's Srimad. And then there's faith in the drama. No matter what comes, it has come to go. So let it go. Every scene, every moment, every interaction is absolutely accurate. And faith in the drama means no questions about anything. Why and what and how have finished. No surprises. And then faith in the family. This is a godly family. Not my family, but a godly family. In Sangam Yuga. And what are we having faith in when we have faith in the family? What are we having faith in? Somebody once asked Daddy, how can you trust people, especially when people lie to you? And Daddy said, you can't trust anyone's nature or sanskars because those are always changing. But what you can trust is how Baba wants to use them. And so faith in the family is the deep recognition of each one's part, each one's elevated part. How does Baba want to use this soul? What does Baba want to do through this soul? Daddy Janki had this wonderful gift. That's why she was our mother in the West. She could instantly recognize how God wanted to use a particular individual. And she helped Baba bring that potential out of that soul, even if that soul couldn't see it for themselves. And so sustaining that elevated vision of recognizing each one's part in the drama. My part and the part of another. And in any drama, when it's a play or a drama, You don't get actors correcting each other's parts, do you? Each actor plays his own part and they enjoy being part of a big movie. And so, in the same way, whatever each one's part is, let them play it. Let me play my part well. And it will inspire others to play their part well. So it's a beautiful murli, and there's many dimensions of faith Baba is taking up today, especially faith in purity and faith in the drama, faith in relationships, and that the signs of faith, especially linked to deep patience. A deep patience, doesn't matter what happens, victory, defeat, praise, defamation, we can let it pass. So let's listen to Baba's Murli today. Very special Murli. So, sweet children, Madhuban is the home of the Father, the holiest of the holy. You mustn't bring anyone impure here. Question: what are the signs of those whose intellects have firm faith in this godly mission? What are the signs of those whose intellects have firm faith in this godly mission? Answer: 1. They are very patient when dealing with praise and defamation. 2. They never get angry. 3. They do not look at anyone with body conscious vision. 4. They see others as souls and speak to others whilst considering themselves to be souls. 5. Whilst living together, husband and wife remain like lotus flowers. And 6. They never have any type of desire. So deep faith in the intellect makes me rest in soul consciousness, keeps me patient, and makes me free from all desires, because real faith brings contentment. Song: why would the moths not burn, sacrifice themselves? Om Shanti. The spiritual father explains to the spiritual children. That is, God teaches spiritual students. The students who study in those schools are not called spiritual students. They belong to the vicious community. Previously, you too were devilish. That is, you belong to Ravan's community. You are now making effort to conquer Ravan, the 5 vices, in order to go to the kingdom of Rama. You have to explain to those who don't have this knowledge that they are in the kingdom of Ravan. They don't understand this. When you tell your friends and relatives, etc., that you are studying with the unlimited Father, it doesn't mean that they have that faith. They won't have that faith no matter how much you say that the Father or even God speaks. This is amazing. Imagine, out of your entire family, you recognized Papa. And even if you tell your whole family that you're studying from God, they may still not have that faith. Just imagine how special that makes you if you're the rare jewel that has recognized Baba. Hmm? And then Baba says about Madhuban, new ones are not allowed to come here. No one can come here without having a letter or asking permission. However, in some cases, they do come. That too is breaking the law. You have to write everyone's news together with their names, etc., and ask permission to send that one. Then Baba would reply, "You may send him." If that person is a student of the devilish impure world, the Father would explain that those studies are taught by vicious impure ones, whereas this study is taught by God. Through that study, you only receive a status worth a few pennies. Although someone may pass a very important exam, for how long would he be able to earn an income? This murli was spoken in the mid 60s. And by that time, service had expanded a lot in Bharat. Many, many big centers, Delhi, Lucknow, Mumbai, big, big places, Calcutta had opened. And of course, as the family expands and students grow, then teachers have the bhavna, "Oh, I want to bring my student to Madhuban and let them benefit." And it was in those times that Baba would put caution that there are rules for bringing souls to Madhuban. They need to be prepared. Because in Bharat, there is a very deep sanskara of going on pilgrimage. And so Mount Abu, anyway, was a tourist destination. And so people would think, oh, well, let's go on holiday in Mount Abu and then visit the ashram anyway. And so Baba would always remind the teachers, no, the system has to be followed, give an introduction of them, and then Baba can explain and then give permission, and then they can come. So Baba says, destruction is just ahead. Natural calamities will also come. You understand this. Make those who don't understand sit outside in the visiting room and explain to them, this is a godly study. Here, only those whose intellects have faith will be victorious. That is, they will rule the world. We'll take this aspect up after the Murli. What it means to become victorious with faith. Those who belong to Ravan's community do not know this. Great caution is required for this. No one is allowed to come. No one is allowed to come here without permission. This is not a tourist place. In a short while, the laws will become very strict because this is the holiest of holy places. Shiv Baba is also called Indra. This is the court of Indra. People wear a ring of 9 jewels. There is an emerald in it, as well as a topaz. All of these names are also given to angels. You souls are angels who fly. This is your description. However, those people don't understand anything about these matters. The rings that they wear also have certain other jewels amongst them. Some cost 1,000 rupees, whereas others cost 10 to 20 rupees. You children are also number wise. Some study and become masters. Others study and become maids or servants. A kingdom is being established. Therefore, the Father sits here and teaches you. He is also called Indra, the god of rain. This is the rain of knowledge. It's interesting how in this paragraph, Baba has connected the concept of us being jewels, and that angels are given names of jewels. And then he goes on to say Baba is Indra, the reign of knowledge. And this whole aspect that when I'm letting myself be bathed with knowledge and rained my knowledge, it is cleaning me, purifying me, and helping me to recognize my value. Because jewels are associated with value. And so the result of taking knowledge and being rained by with knowledge is that my self-realization increases and my self-value increases. And if my self-value increases, then I can be put anywhere. I can do anything and my value won't decrease. You know, sometimes there are souls that say, oh, I don't want to do that service. I want to do this service. I want to do that service. I don't, because they think the action or the position will give them value. But when you're a diamond, even if you're placed in the crown or on a ring finger, your value is the same. Or your place around the necklace, a diamond is a diamond wherever it's placed. And so in Baba's Yagya, when I realize the kind of diamond I am, then I can let myself be placed anywhere and to be part of anything. And that's the beauty of having a surrendered intellect. So Baba says, no one but the Father can give you knowledge. This is your aim and objective. If you had the faith that God is teaching this study, you would never leave it. The arrow will never strike those who have stone intellects. They come, and then whilst moving along, they fall. The 5 vices have been your enemies for half the cycle. They take you into body consciousness and slap you. The 5 vices. You then become those who are amazed by the knowledge, who listen to the knowledge, who speak about it, and then run away. Maya is very powerful. She knocks you down with just one slap. You may think that you will never fall, but nevertheless, Maya slaps you. Both men and women here remain pure. No one but God can make them this. This is the godly mission. The Father is also called the boatman, and you are the boats. The boatman comes to take everyone's boat across. It is said that the boat of truth will rock, but it will not sink. There are so many sects and cults. It is as though there is a battle going on between knowledge and devotion. Sometimes devotion is victorious, but there will ultimately be victory for knowledge. Look how great the warriors on the path of devotion are. There are also great warriors on the path of knowledge who have been named Arjun, Bhim, etc., the 5 Pandavas. They have sat and written all those stories. That praise belongs to you. You are now playing out your parts of heroes and heroines. It is at this time that the war takes place. Amongst you too, there are many who don't understand these aspects at all. The arrow will only strike those who are very good. Those who are 3rd class will not be able to sit here. Day by day, the laws will become stricter. It is unlawful for those who have stone intellects and are unable to understand anything to come and sit here. This hall is the holiest of holy places. The Pope is said to be holy, but this Father is the holiest of the holy. You know why Baba says this? Because in Bhakti, there's the story of Indraprasth, the court of Indra. And there were angels in that court, and one particular angel had gone down to the mortal realm, and she had fallen in love with a human being. And out of attachment to that human being, she had wanted to bring that human being into the court of Indra, and it was forbidden to bring a mortal human being. And so when she brought that person, like hiding or in a disguise, then she got found out and got turned to stone. And she got banished away from the court of Indra to become a human. And so I think Baba is challenging that aspect of our impurity that comes from attachment. You know, the corruption of attachment. Oh, well, it's my student, my son, my wife, I want them to benefit. But there's that whole aspect of my, so there isn't the discernment of the soul itself. Can this soul take it? Has the soul recognized? Do they have goodness? Can they understand? So this is what Baba's saying. The Father says, I have to benefit everyone. Everything is going to be destroyed. Not everyone is able to understand these things. Although they may listen to it, it goes in one ear and out of the other. They neither imbibe anything themselves nor inspire others to do so. There are many such deaf and dumb people. The Father says, hear no evil, see no evil. They have portrayed this with a picture of monkeys. However, this applies to human beings. At this time, human beings are worse than monkeys. There is a story about Narad. He was told, look at your own face and check that you don't have the 5 vices in you. Just as you have visions, so they too have visions of Hanuman. The Father says this happens every cycle. None of these things will exist in the golden age. This old world will finish. Those whose intellects have very firm faith will understand that they ruled that kingdom in the previous cycle too. The Father says, children, now imbibe divine virtues. Do not do anything unlawful. Have patience in response to praise and defamation. Let there not be any anger. You are such elevated students. God the Father is teaching you. He is teaching you directly. Nevertheless, so many children forget this because he is in an ordinary body. The Father says you won't be able to be uplifted so much by looking at the bodily being. Look at the soul. The soul resides in the center of the forehead. The soul listens to this and nods in agreement. Always talk to souls. You souls are sitting on the thrones of your bodies. You were Tamopradhan and now have to become Satopradhan. When you consider yourselves to be souls and remember the Father, the consciousness of your bodies will be broken. There has been body consciousness for half the cycle. At this time, all are body conscious. The Father says, now become soul conscious. It is souls that imbibe everything. It is souls that eat and drink. The father is called Abhogta. Mm. Abhogta means the one who doesn't experience the consequences or who is beyond the effect of experiencing anything. So he is incorporeal. It is bodily beings who do everything. Baba, he doesn't eat or drink anything. He is a bhokta. Those people then copy this. They cheat human beings so much. You have all the knowledge in your intellects. Those who understood this in the previous cycle will understand it now. The Father says, I come and teach you every cycle and observe everything as the detached observer. It's so important, this line, to observe things as a detached observer. You know, Baba's job is to give knowledge. He has sanskars of knowledge. That's it. So just the sanskara of speaking through the mouth of Brahma. Baba doesn't have the sanskara of eating or drinking. But then Baba's sanskara of being a detached observer, Baba gives the knowledge and then watches and sees which children understand. And he works with the children that understand. He doesn't beat his head with the children that don't understand. And then in the murli, you also hear Brahma Baba and the effort that Brahma Baba has to make to elevate to Shiv Baba's directions. So it's so important as an instrument to never lose that position of being a detached observer. And that way, we don't push knowledge to push knowledge into people's throats, but we gently inspire them and then step back. So Baba says you will study everything that you studied previously, number-wise, according to the efforts you make. It does take time. They say the Iron Age still has 40,000 years left. This means that they are in extreme darkness. It is called the darkness of ignorance. There is the difference of day and night between the path of devotion and the path of knowledge. This too is a matter that has to be understood. You children have to remain immersed in great happiness. You have everything. You don't have any desires. You know that all your desires are being fulfilled exactly as they were in the previous cycle, and this is why you remain completely satisfied. Those who have no knowledge won't be satisfied. It is said there is no nourishment like happiness. You receive a kingdom for birth after birth. Those who are to become maids and servants will not have as much happiness. You have to become totally brave warriors. Maya should not be able to shake you. The Father says you have to remain very cautious about your eyes. Let there not be any criminal vision. Sometimes they make mischief when they see a woman. And Baba says, oh, you are brothers and sisters, Kumars and Kumaris. And so why do your physical organs make mischief? Maya finishes off big millionaires and billionaires. So the biggest weakness through which impurity gets triggered is the senses of the eyes. Maya completely kills even the poor. Then they say, Baba, I got hit. And Baba says, oh, you were defeated even after 10 years. Now you will fall into the extreme depths of hell. You can understand what their stage is like inside. Some do very good service. Kumaris even shot the arrows at Bishampitame, etc. These things are mentioned in the Gita a little. There are the versions of God. If God Krishna spoke the Gita, Baba's taking a different direction. If God Krishna spoke the Gita, then why does it say in the Gita, very few know me as I am and what I am? You can't imagine what they would do if Krishna was here. Krishna exists in that body in the Golden Age. They don't know that I enter the body of the last birth of Krishna. Everyone would instantly come running in front of Krishna. When the Pope comes, such a huge crowd gathers in front of him. People don't understand that at this time everyone is impure and tamopradhan. They say, "Oh, purify, come." However, they don't consider themselves to be impure. The father explains to the children so well. Baba's intellect goes to the special children at all the centers. When many specially loved children come here, I look at them here. Otherwise, I have to think of them outside. I perform the dance of knowledge in front of them. It's amazing when Baba's performing the dance of knowledge, he has in his awareness all the serviceable children. So whether you're sitting in front of him or not, it's irrelevant. When you're out on the field, Baba's always have this awareness, Baba's performing this dance of knowledge for me. And then Baba says, I perform the dance of knowledge in front of them. When the majority is of knowledgeable souls, there is great pleasure. Because then everybody starts dancing. There are many assaults. And this is another topic. There are many assaults on the daughters. They have to tolerate so much every cycle. By coming into knowledge, they even stop doing devotion. If they have a temple in their home, and both husband and wife perform devotion, but the wife then becomes interested in knowledge and stops performing devotion, there is so much upheaval. She won't indulge in vice and will also stop studying the scriptures, and so there is fighting. There are many obstacles in this. They don't prevent you from going to other spiritual gatherings. Here, it is a matter of purity. When men are unable to stay at home, they go away to the forests. Where would women go? They believe that women are the gateway to hell. And then what does Baba say? The father says, they are the gateway to heaven. You daughters are establishing heaven. Previously, according to the sannyasis, you were the gateway to hell. Now heaven is being established. The golden age is the gateway to heaven, and the iron age is the gateway to hell. This is something to be understood. You children also understand this, number-wise, according to your efforts. Although you remain pure, you imbibe knowledge number-wise. See, at the beginning of the Golden Age, there will be 900,000 deities. Every single person will be a divine human being, 16 celestial degrees pure. And so we will all be pure when we come, but our status is number-wise because status depends on study. And so the level of our study then determines our status there. What role we play, what we do in Satyuga. That's why Baba says, although you remain pure, you imbibe knowledge number-wise. You have come away from there and are now sitting here. However, it is explained to you that you now have to live in your households with your families. They have so much difficulty. Those who live here have no difficulty at all. Therefore, the Father explains, live at home with your families and remain as pure as a lotus. This is a matter of just this one final birth. Whilst living at home with your families, consider yourselves to be souls. It is souls that listen to this, and souls that have to become this. It is souls that have been wearing different dresses every birth. We souls now have to return home. We have to have yoga with the Father. This is the main thing. The Father says, I am talking to souls. Each soul resides in the center of the forehead and listens through these organs. When a soul is not in his body, the body becomes a corpse. The Father comes and gives such wonderful knowledge. No one except the Supreme Soul can explain these things. Sannyasis, etc., do not look at souls. They consider each soul to be the Supreme Soul. Then they say that the soul is immune to the effect of action, and they therefore go to the Ganges to wash their bodies. They don't understand that it is the soul that becomes impure, and that it is the soul that does everything. Just think about it for a moment. Dadiji would always say to us, the whole game is here. The energy of the soul that then manifests in this body and creates the first subtle senses, the mind, the intellect, the sanskars. And the mind is what is linked to every sense organ in the body. So you could call the body the extension of your mind. The body is nothing separate. It's the, I suppose, the hardware in which the software types. But the body doesn't have a life of its own. And so whatever is the state of your mind, the body will adapt to it. So when we realize that actually the body is nothing, doesn't have a life of its own, even the mind is nothing, we give too much importance to the mind. Because the mind is out of control. So it's like a mother whose child is out of control, but the mother is scared of her own child. The mind is only the energy of the soul. And so when I deeply realize I am the soul, I am the one that becomes pure and impure. And that is felt through the mind and the body. So Baba says, they don't understand that it is the soul that becomes impure, that it is the soul that does everything. The Father continues to explain to you, don't think I am so-and-so, I am such and such. No, all are souls. There must be no discrimination of caste. See, in Satyug, there will be a natural hierarchy because there's no consciousness of I. The king doesn't think I'm a king. The subject of there's no conscious I am so-and-so. So there's no feeling superiority, inferiority complex because there's no I. Everyone's just playing their part in soul consciousness. So there must be no discrimination of caste. Consider yourselves to be souls. And this is why when there's real faith, comes with it a vision of equality. Equanimity is what accompanies faith. Equanimity in all my interactions with whoever it is that comes in front of me. I don't become positional in the relationship. I am this, you are that. But soul consciousness keeps me relational. I relate to everyone according to my virtues. So Baba says, don't think I'm so and so, I'm such and such. No, all are souls. There must be no discrimination of caste. Consider yourselves to be souls. The government doesn't believe in any religion. All of those religions are of bodies, but the Father of all souls is just the one. You have to look at souls. The original religion of all souls is peace. Acha. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children. The
And the
spiritual
spiritual children said
say
namaste to the spiritual
spiritual
father.
Y los hijos espirituales decimos namaste al
Padre
espiritual.
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 Essence for Dharana. 1. Listen to all the useless things you hear with one ear and then let them out with the other ear. So they shouldn't get stuck in between. Listen to all the useless things you hear with one ear and then let them out of the other ear. Hear no evil, see no evil. Imbibe the teachings that the Father gives you. 2. Never have any limited desires. Be very cautious about your eyes. Let there be no criminal vision. Do not let any of your physical organs make mischief. Stay full of happiness. Blessing. May you become an image of attraction by increasing the shine of the soul conscious form with the oil of attention. May you become an image of attraction by increasing the shine of the soul conscious form with the oil of attention. Once the star of the soul conscious form has been made to shine by the Father with knowledge, it cannot be extinguished. However, the percentage of the shine can increase or decrease. So the light gets lit, but how powerful the light is or how dim the light is, this percentage can increase or decrease. The shining star will attract everyone when you continue to pour the oil of attention into the lamp every day at Amrit Vela. When oil is poured into a lamp, it remains constantly lit. To pay complete attention in this way means to instill in yourself all the Father's virtues and powers. By paying such attention, you will become an image of attraction. Slogan. With the attitude of unlimited disinterest, reveal the seed of spiritual endeavor. With the attitude of unlimited disinterest, reveal the seed of spiritual endeavor. Sadhana. Yesterday, Baba talked about facilities, sadhan, and spiritual endeavors, sadhana. So, when we have too much interest in the facilities and things, then our spiritual endeavor reduces because we end up being in comfort zones. So that's why Baba's saying, with the attitude of unlimited disinterest, reveal spiritual endeavor. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So let's have a moment of silence. And then a little bit of murli revision. And in this silence, just reflect on what touched your heart from Baba's murli today. Om Shanti. Does anyone have any questions from Baba's murli today? If you do, put it in the chat box and somebody can maybe share.
I have one.
Sure.
How you understand that patience when when you have faith? Like how patience is connected with faith? And
How
he
is
says patience and not becoming angry with things. So
mm,
you can talk about that.
mm. I was feeling that today Baba was talking a lot about faith in the drama. And in these 4 types of faith, the self, Baba, drama, and family, the 2 most important ones are faith in Baba and faith in drama. If you have these 2, the rest will come. And when faith in drama, because Baba used the word nischay buddhi, and nischay buddhi is an intellect that has conviction. It's convinced, I am a soul. I belong to Baba. I come from home. And I know my part. I know who I belong to and I know who I am. And the experience of nischay buddhi is deep peace. The intellect can rest in deep peace of knowing the self is the soul and being convinced I am a soul. One is to know I am a soul. And a completely different thing is to live as a soul amongst souls. Nischay buddhi lives as a soul amongst souls. And so the moment I have experienced that peace of knowing, then within peace is patience. because I can then go with the flow of the drama. You know, the drama moves like a louse. Everything has its own time. And I remember one time being with Daddy, and you know, for many, many years, Daddy has had several health problems, issues with her physical body. And one time in Madhuban, it was off season, and I was there for the Future of Power. And I went to Madhuban to see her because she wasn't well. And Sister Gayatri from New York had also come. And at that time, Daddy was so sick. She had a chest infection, she had a urine infection, she had high blood pressure, she lost her voice, she had back pain, and she was horizontal on the bed on drips. And we were taking turns day and night to be in the room with her. And yet, after 1 week, how the energy of the soul, the power of that soul, she had enough energy to go and sit down on her couch. And when she did, Gayatri asked her a question: Daddy, where do you get your energy from? One moment you are dying, and the next moment you come back to life and you are giving us badam, almonds. And Daddy then closed her eyes, put her head back, and she said, Daddy knows a deep secret in the drama. Whatever has come has to go. And so Daddy just waits for it to go. And I thought, isn't that wonderful? To remain in that position of the detached observer, accepting the accuracy of the flow of the drama, and even if it's the drama related to your own body, yeah, just wait for it to go. Daddy didn't interrupt that flow by saying, why is it here? Why has this illness come? How long does it come for? When will it go? Why am I like this? Maybe there's something really wrong with me. Whatever is coming, it's coming to go. Because, you know, we are part of a much bigger flow. Even the settlement of our karmic accounts is like a cycle, it's a flow. And so if something's coming to be settled, just let it flow. Don't interrupt that flow with questions, because the moment you do that, you identify with it. I am bad, or I'm not worthy. This is happening to me. It's not happening to anybody else. And then you stop that flow. And when you stop that flow, everything builds up. Tension builds up, pressure builds up, and you get stuck. And that's when suffering begins. And so there's such wisdom in waiting. And you know, in many different contexts, Daddy would often say to us, you know, we would go, I remember for my own personal efforts, I used to write a letter to Daddy every week. Once a week, I'd phone her, I'd write a letter, then I'd phone her and we'd have a little chit chat. And for me, Daddy was my best friend. She was my companion of truth, the person I danced with. We played tennis with truth. And one time, you know, as I was doing my writing, I said to Daddy, Daddy, I don't see what my next step is. I've accomplished this, I've done this, I've come this far, but I can't see ahead. What do I do? And Daddy would just say to me, wait and see. Be a detached observer, wait and see. And at every step of my journey, she would teach me patience in many, many different forms, because this was Daddy Janki's biggest power. In fact, she had two big powers that let her continue to such an age and adapt with the drama of matter, with the drama of human relationships. One was the power of patience, and the second was the power to adjust. It's when you have patience that you can adjust yourself to what is happening. If you don't have patience, you can't wait, you keep reacting. And that's the anger bit Baba was talking about, because impatience is also an aspect of anger. You know, the reaction to what is happening is a form of subtle anger, the why. But why ask why? You know, one time I think it was Santosh Ben from Bombay. And Santosh Ben was very close to Brajendra Dadi, Baba's daughter-in-law. And this time, whilst I was in Madhuban for so many, many months, I had a good chance to get to know Santosh Ben very well. I knew her from many years ago. She'd come to Oxford, come to London. But this time I really got to know her well. We used to have a lot of chit chats. And Santosh Ben used to say in the very early murlis, maybe 40s, the murlis of the 40s, Baba would say, and it was the murlis that Piyu spoke. And Baba would say, okay, children, if today Baba says that building is going to fall across the street by tomorrow, 2 o'clock, and then tomorrow, 2 o'clock comes, but the building didn't fall, will the children lose faith in Baba? Well, Baba will say, because that was fixed in the drama. And Baba himself is bound by the drama. And so Baba used to play with the children. And it's very interesting in the last few Murlis, Baba made himself so ordinary. Baba saying, but children, I'm no great. I have a part to play. I'm in bondage to the drama, and I just have a job description. That's it. And so, recognizing Baba, recognizing drama. And, Baba has a role to inspire the children to make effort. That's his part. So he's playing his part. And drama is playing its part by doing what it has to at the right time. When Mama left the body, Baba, and probably Brahma Baba, but we say Baba inspired the children to have yoga. And Baba would say to the children, if you have enough yoga, then maybe Mama will come back. And the children were so attached to Mama that they would sit around. And of course, there were programs, bhattis to have all night to have yoga. And they would have yoga. And this was the yukti Baba adopted so that they would stay in yoga. And of course, Baba knew the raz, the secrets. But in this moment, it was the moment to inspire the children to make effort. And in the Bhog message afterwards, Baba did say, Mama came for a few seconds to see the children. But of course, the soul can't come back into the body. So Baba is Raz Yukt. He's the knower of all the secrets, but he cannot reveal all the secrets all at once at the right time, because his main effort is to give knowledge and to inspire children to make effort. And this is Bap Dada's effort. This is why you see the Avyakt Murlis are so different to the Sakar Murlis, because the Avyakt Murlis are inspiring us towards elevated dharana. And the Sakar Murlis are facts, realities. This is what it is. These are the facts, these are the figures, this is what happened, it's the story. And then the Avyakt Murlis are the inspiration to once again become that elevated hero and heroine. So does that answer your question?
Yes, wonderful. Thank you, Gopi. And there are two questions. I will tell you both. And
Yeah.
one is about how Baba is a bhakta. If you could explain more about that. And the other one is how to know when to be a detached observer and be tolerant, and when is the time to act, to face. So those are the questions.
Okay. A bhokta is beyond the one who is beyond the effect of experiencing something. Now, when you think about why is it that we experience something through the body and in our minds? Because in the soul is a sanskara. The soul has been traveling and taking 84 dresses. It has also taken with it its bank of sanskaras. Those sanskaras get activated when the soul is in the body, especially the human soul, because the human soul has human sanskaras. The sanskaras of having a body, which means when you have a body, you have the sanskara of dressing yourself. You have the sanskara of eating. All these are basic, walking, talking. Now, when you have these sanskaras, you are bound by the effect of the action you perform. So if you perform the action of eating something, you will experience what you have eaten because you use that sanskara. Now, Baba doesn't have a body of his own. So Baba's part, he's never had a human form. So Baba has no sanskaras of eating and drinking. So then how is he going to experience the effect of it? The only thing Baba has a sanskara of is giving knowledge. That's what pulls him down into the body of Brahma to speak through the mouth. That's it. And that's why Baba's words are so pure, because they're establishing something. So it's interesting to think about the sanskaras we have. Now we have sets of sanskaras. You know, there's the Rajo Satopradhan sanskaras, divine sanskaras, pure soul conscious royalty sanskaras. Then there's Rajopradhan sanskaras. You know, Satopradhan sanskaras are very serene sanskaras, stabilizing sanskaras. We do everything on the basis of virtues. So, you know, we speak slowly, we eat slowly. We are light and humorous. Satopradhan sanskaras have a lot of lightness in them. Rajopradhan sanskaras, we have this set of sanskaras. Rajo energy is, how you say, is based on motion, and it contains the energy of passion. So Rajopradhan sanskaras are movement sanskaras. You know, when we get very, very busy, we have to go from A to B, T to Z. You have to do many, 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 many things. So we give this effect of busyness. And then by doing many, many, many things, Rajopradhan sanskaras are also sanskaras of competition, comparison, polarity. You know, where anyway you have to go from A to B, or discriminating sanskars, or I'm more superior than you're less superior. So it creates a lot of competition, jealousy, comparison. And then, of course, tamopradhan sanskaras. These are sanskars of inertia. You know what inertia is? Something that has the potential to move but cannot move. And so, you know, things like laziness, and then, you know, you leave everything till tomorrow, darkness, dark thoughts, and of course violence, because when there's darkness, everything is negative. Everything feels negative, and you see everything is negative. So we have all these sets of sanskaras in ourselves, and these sanskaras are time bound. So, you know, in golden age, you will activate satopradhan sanskars. You won't have tamopradhan sanskars in golden age because it's not the time. The time and the quality of purity of matter at that time activates those sanskars. And now we are in the confluence age. And so in the confluence age, when we realize we are Brahmins and we belong to Baba, then we awaken godly sanskars, the sanskars of being a child of God. So we are relearning everything. We are taking those powers and virtues from Baba to learn how to speak truthfully again, to learn how to eat slowly and eat royally again, to learn how to speak sweetly and speak slowly again. And so we will experience this because we need to experience this. But Baba, he has no sanskara of eating, drinking, even being familiar with each other. He doesn't have those sanskaras because he's never had a body. So he will never experience the effect because he will never perform that action. And for us as divine, as Brahmins now in Sangam Yuga, we are in the process of emergence. The Shudra sanskaras, the Tamopradhan is on this side. The Satopradhan divinities in this side. We are in between. Something is emerging. And this takes patience and love and care and attention, so that whatever sanskaras we use, we don't experience a negative effect of it. And when we don't experience a negative effect of our sanskaras, then we can grow gracefully. Otherwise, our own sanskaras become our obstacles. I'll give you an example. You know Daddy Ratan Mohini, very, very disciplined. I have known her from childhood, very, very special soul. And one of her specialities is that she's always been very disciplined with her food. When she sits to have a meal, she has worked out how much food she needs to eat just to keep the body functioning. So in her lunchtime meal especially, only 1.5 chapatis. Now, her Brahmini is a very good cook. And sometimes, you know what the Brahmanis do? Daddy, have half more, half. No. And one day I was sitting having lunch with Daddy. And you know me, I'm eating one hot chapati and then another hot chapati. And the hot chapatis, they melt in your mouth. And so I said to Daddy, but Daddy, another half chapati is nice, no? And she said, no, why would I eat an extra half chapati? Because then my stomach will react. Why to give sorrow to my body like this? Such a simple answer that she realizes she's looking after her lifestyle so she doesn't create a reaction either in her body or in her relationships with others. So as we live carefully like this now as Brahmins, then we allow the deity to wake up and work for us. And then the second question, the detached observer. You know, the detached observer is not a passive state. You can act and be a detached observer at the same time. But where you act from, the position you act from is the most important. Because every action always stems from a position. Either you are self-aware, you're aware of something. So what Baba's saying is the position of a detached observer is the position of self-awareness, that I am this soul looking out, watching out. And in this moment, as a detached observer, I choose to share my truth. I choose to share what I see clearly. Now, if what I'm aware of in that moment is you and your behavior, and that's not right, then I'm not operating from my position. I'm reacting. And then when I speak, it will be a reaction. Facing something is a reaction. You know, the power to face is supposed to be used on the self, your own sanskaras, not on other people. And so when you are in a meeting and when you're with people and something is being triggered, it's something inside you that is being triggered. Do I have the power to face what is emerging in my own mind as a detached observer? Because when I hold that position of being a detached observer, then I can let something pass, even the reaction in my mind pass. And then when I express, it will be clear without a reaction. The powers are meant for my stage. They are not meant for anything else. These powers are not situational powers. They are powers only to stabilize my stage. I am tolerating because I want to keep love alive in my stage. I am discerning because I want my intellect to stay clean. So this is very important to understand the practice of the powers. I know that for the purposes of teaching Lokik people, we have made the powers or given the powers a situational context. And yes, they are applicable in situations. But essentially, what Baba means when he gives us the powers is the power to look after our stage with each of these powers, because I have to use these powers to stabilize this. I'm remembering a scene with Daddy Kumarka. Usually around mid-morning, she would go for a walk. And one of these days, I was taking her for a walk around her cottage. And after the walk, we came back into her sitting room and we sat down. And it must have been a sister from a particular department. She was very upset and she came into the sitting room to tell something to Daddy. And she was very, very upset. And she was even quite angry. And so Daddy's sitting here. The sister comes in and she's sitting in front of Daddy. I'm sitting to the side. And so this sister is speaking nonstop, very loud, very angry, very upset. And I'm watching. And I'm starting to have waste thoughts about how she's speaking to Daddy. I'm not even in the scene and I'm starting to have waste thoughts, right? See how easy it is to have waste thoughts. And Daddy, she's just watching her. The sister is saying this and this, but Daddy's not saying anything to her. And then the sister finishes after a few minutes and Daddy says, "Is there anything else you want to say?" And the sister said, "No, that's enough." Then Daddy picks up an apple and gives it to her. And then the sister leaves. And I'm watching all of this and I'm thinking, what? And then I say to that, "But Daddy, she came, she said so many things. You didn't try to explain anything to her. You didn't even try to make her peaceful. You didn't even try to stop her. What is this?" And you know what Daddy said to me? Daddy said, "Are Pagli." Pagli means my sweet, innocent one. Daddy wasn't even listening to what she was saying. Daddy was sitting with Baba as a detached observer so that Baba could give that child whatever she needed. This is what it means to be a detached observer, to keep your companion with you. Because who is going to give that soul what they need? Not you, Baba. And so the power I take from Baba allows me to sit still in that seat of being a detached observer and face these wonderful scenes in the drama. And this is the other thing, is that the power of the detached observer, in Hindi we say sakshi. But sakshi always is with sati, the companion. And it's so beautiful when you rest with the companion. You don't take on the tension of any situation that you are passing through, whatever it may be, a karmic account, anything. You don't take the tension of it. I remember being in Ahmedabad airport. And in Ahmedabad airport, Ahmedabad is a major city in Gujarat. And lots of Gujarati mothers that need wheelchairs when they're at the airport, old mothers. So one day I'm standing in this queue in security, and this young man, Indian man, bodied, young bodied soul, he was pushing this wheelchair with this old Mataji, and she had all these plastic bags everywhere. She had the wheelchair under the suitcase under the wheelchair, and she had these different, her handbag and a plastic bag and this another bag. So we arrived to security. I'm behind her. And she's getting distressed. "Oh, my baggage and this and this and this." And this young boy looks down at her very peacefully and says, "Hey, my mother, why you're getting so, don't come into tension. I'm here. I'll take care of you. Don't take on the tension of this on yourself." And I thought it was so sweet. He stood there holding, he says, "I'm here for you. I'm going to take your bags and baggage. Why you're taking tension from this?" And I thought to myself, this is exactly what Baba does with us. Baba says, "Child, I'm here. Hey, hello, I'm here. I'm going to take all these bags and baggage. You're not responsible for anything, so just relax. No need to take any tension from anyone playing their part, from any scene in the drama. No need to take on any burden. This is the power that keeps you a detached observer. Because you know, there are very, very few times when you actually have to respond in the drama. You are only responding when you play your part. You are never responding because of, if you know what I mean. There's a big difference. Playing your part is a spontaneous act, whereas reacting is because of, oh, because of this scene, I have to do this. Because of that, I have to. It just breeds ego. It's a reactive mechanism. Is that clear?
Yes, wonderful. I think every one of us is enjoying a lot. Staying here.
Yeah. Oh, lovely to see all of you. Good. Okay, so
You are busy. So everyone who wants to, we have a tradition. We like to say goodbye to you. That's fine.
oh, of course.
So, entonces a todos los que quieran decirle Om Shanti y Chao a Gopi lo pueden hacer porque pueden abrir sus micrófonos.
Om
Thank you very
Shanti.
much for
Thank you very
Om
much.
everything.
Shanti.
Thank you,
Shanti.
Baba.
Shanti.
Gracias, hermana.
Thank
Gracias,
Om
hermana.
Shanti.
Om
Shanti.
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 Is
Om
somebody going to
Shanti.
sing a song? Ariana, you sing a song. Someone from Guatemala, sing a song.
Jorge, usted puede cantar una canción.
Akash, sing a song. We have to finish with someone singing a song because this is Central America. You all sing and dance.
Akash, canta algo, la tenés en la boca.
No, en Guatemala,
Jorge, que
Guatemala.
cante, Jorge.
Cantemos el himno a la alegría.
Ok. La alegría que lo canta.
María quiere cantar una canción chiquita.
Sí, voy a cantar una canción. Jorge de no puede ser más que una canción.
Okay.
Quisiera fuera una declaración de amor.
Mute me.
Deidades me parar en formas tales. No pongan freno a lo que siento. Te amo. Eternamente te amo. Si alguna vez me siento derrotado, enfrentaré cada mañana mirando el credo que me has enseñado. Miro tu cara y digo en la ventana, mi Baba, mi Baba, eternamente, mi Baba.
Muchas, muchas gracias. Om Shanti.
Om
Shanti.
Om Shanti, Sister
Om
Gopi. Om
Shanti, Sister
Shanti.
Om
Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Gracias.
Go ahead.
Om Shanti.
Gracias, familia.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Gracias.
Sister María, muchas gracias por la invitación. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.